trial balance and errors that does not affect the trial balance from balancing. What is a trial balance? A trial balance is a statement which lists all accounts and their balances on a particular date. Each balance is placed either in the debit column or in the credit column. The totals of debit and credit columns are calculated. The totals should be equal. Also, a trial balance is not part of the double entry system. Here is an example of a trial balance. I've taken some of the common factors such as assets, liabilities, provisions, equity, expenses, income, and revenue. As you can see, the debit side total 30 is equal to the credit side total of 30. How do we prepare a trial balance? First, you look into the transactions and complete the double entry. Followed by that, you enter the details to books of prime entry, such as cash book, petty cash book, sales day book, sales returns day book, purchases day book, purchases returns day book, and the journal. Once that's done, you transfer it to the ledgers. These ledgers can be classified as trade payables ledgers, trade receivables ledger, nominal or general ledger. Then you balance off the ledgers, identify the debits and the credits as balance brought down, and transfer it to the trial balance and balance off the trial balance. These are some of the errors that does not affect the trial balance from balancing. These errors do not show up in the trial balance because they do not affect the overall totals, but they can still lead to misleading financial statements if not identified and corrected. These are the 6 types of errors that does not affect the trial balance from balancing. Error of principle, error of original entry, error of commission, error of complete reversal, error of omission, and compensating error. Now, let's look into in detail of each type of error along with its description as and an example. Error of principle. This is when the transaction is entered in the wrong class and in the wrong account, but the correct amount and the correct side. An example would be motor expenses debited to motor vehicle account. So it's in the wrong class, expense and assets. Error of original entry. This is when a transaction is entered in the correct class, correct account, correct side, but with the correct amount. Let's look at an example. Goods pounds 100 bought on credit but recorded as 1000. So this indicates the wrong amount is entered in the double entry system. Error of commission. This is when a transaction is entered in the correct class, correct amount, correct side, but in the wrong account. An example would be cash received 50 from Malini credited to Malika's account. Both are trade receivables. That's why it's in the correct class, but the account is wrong. Error of complete reversal. This error occurs when a transaction is entered in the correct class, correct amount, correct account, but on the wrong side. An example, cash drawings 120 debited to cash account and credited to drawings account. Error of omission. This is when a transaction is completely omitted from the books. An example, payment of wages 100 was not entered in the books. Compensating error. This error occurs when errors cancel each other. For example, purchases account under added by 100 and sales returns account over added by 100. Now, let's look into each type of error that does not affect the trial balance and identify the correct double entry to correct the error. Error of principle. This occurs when a transaction is entered in the wrong class and wrong account, but with the correct amount on the correct side. Look at this example. Motor expenses debited to motor vehicle account 100. Original entry should be motor expense debit cash or bank credit. However, the error is that the debited motor vehicle account debit and cash or bank credit. However, to correct this error, you remove it from motor vehicle account, therefore credit motor vehicle and debit motor expenses. Try this. Provide the correct journal entry. Purchases of motor vehicle 20,000 was entered as motor expenses. How would you correct this error? Take few minutes and try the double entry to correct this error. The correct entry should be motor vehicle debit 20,000, motor expenses credit 20,000. Number 2. Error of original entry. This occurs when a transaction is entered in the correct class, correct account, correct side, but with the wrong amount. Let's look at an example. Goods 100 bought on credit but recorded as 1,000. The original entry should be purchases debit 100, trade payables credit 100. However, the mistake was purchases was debited by 1,000 and trade payable credited by 1,000. In order to correct this error, you credit purchases by 900 and you debit trade payables by 900 in order to reach the correct entry of purchases 100 and trade payable credit by 100. Therefore, to correct this error, debit trade payable 900, credit purchases 900. Try this. Provide the correct journal entry. Sold goods for 2,100 was recorded as 1,200. Now let's check the answer. It should be cash or bank debit 900, sales credit by 900. Number 3. Error of commission. This error occurs when a transaction is written in the wrong account but in the correct class, correct amount and correct side. Let's look at an example. Cash received 50 from Malini was credited to Malika's account. The original entry should be cash debit, Malini trade receivable credit. However, the error was it was correctly entered in the cash account but it was credited to Malika's account. In order to correct this error, you remove 50 from Malika's account, therefore debit TR Malika 50 and credit Malini by 50. Now try this question. Provide the journal entry for purchases from KP Limited was credited to KL Limited 300. Let's check the answer. KL Limited debit 300, KP Limited credit by 300. Error of complete reversal. This error occurs when a transaction is written in the correct class, correct amount, correct account, but in the wrong side. Let's look into an example. Cash drawings 120 debited to cash account and credited to drawings account. The original entry should be drawings debit cash credit. However, the error was it was debited to cash and credited to drawings. In order to correct this error, you double the amount and debit drawings by 240 and credit cash by 240. Now try this question. Provide the journal entry. Sales of goods £400 was debited to sales and credited to cash. How will you rectify this error? So the journal entry should be cash account debit 800, sales account credit 800. Error of omission. This error occurs when a transaction is completely omitted from the books. Payment of wages 100 was not entered in the books. The original entry should be wages debit cash credit. However, the mistake was it was not debited to wages account and cash account. Therefore, in order to correct this error, you debit wages by 100 and credit cash by 100. Now try this. Provide the correct journal entry. Cash sales 100 was not entered in the books. How will you rectify this error? The answer should be cash account debit 100, sales account credit 100. Number 6. Compensating error. This error occurs when errors cancel each other. As you can see in this example, purchases account under added by 100 and sales account over added by 100. I'm just taking some random figures. Let's assume purchases should be debited by 600, sales returns should be debited by 300. But the error was purchases account was under added by 100. Therefore, instead of 600, they debited 500. And sales return should have been debited by 300, but they debited it by 400. In order to correct this error, you add 100 on the debit side in the purchases account, and in the sales return, you credit 100 in order to reduce it and bring it back to the original balance of 300. Try this. The correct journal entry for sales account overstated and purchase returns understated by 100. In order to find the correct entry for this, you debit sales by 100 and credit purchases returns by 100. Now you should have an idea of correcting the errors that does not affect the trial balance from balancing.